Hi, chat. Bot is not apparently cooperating very well with me tonight here. Let me see what we got going on here. See if we can't get that fixed. I'm going to try and restart it. Welcome in, everyone. Yeah, I was a little late getting going today. Rather, I got home late and I was trying to get set up. I was getting flustered. Things were not going well with the computer and things were spiraling. And so I was like, okay, we're delaying things. I need a minute. I'm rather frustrated right now with YouTube because they had a pretty horrible thumbnail the other night on a video a couple nights ago, and I uploaded a thumbnail to replace it that I thought was a better picture of it, and now it's defaulting to that picture as my icon for videos. There's no option for me to delete it, and the only really thing that I could do is throw my logo in there, and so let's not spiral. Let's have some coffee. But welcome in, everyone. Happy to see everyone here. Let's see if we can't get that bot restarted now. What was... Oh, it must be this. There was an update that it didn't. It wasn't updating chat. Like, I had looked up a chat in there, and we had a couple people check in. Welcome in, T. Welcome in, Will Poker. Welcome in, Nan Reader. Happy to see you, JK. Hi, they can see me. Yeesh. So doing fish tonight, doing potatoes, doing sort of a kitchen cleanup night tonight too. So like I'm doing the stuff as far as the Minecraft menu, and then I've got asparagus in the fridge, I've got broccoli going bad in the fridge, I've got baby potatoes that are going bad. So I'm roasting all of those sort of almost separate from dinner's plan, but there's also salmon, single baked potato, and kelp. Now let's see if the bot is properly connected to OBS. It says it is. That there is. There is kelp, and if you cook it, it's edible. It's not, doesn't do much for you. Left my mug in the other room. I don't know. I've only played Minecraft for the last, like, 2-3 years. And I haven't really played all that much in the last year. I keep wanting to go back to it, but I got so many other things I gotta get done. The roasted veggies thing, definitely not Minecraft thing. Though that's sort of surprising, like there easily could be. Still haven't gotten more sugar in the raw. Yeah. Custard? I'm not too into, why am I grabbing yeast? I'm not too into, raw fish. No, but I have seen raw fish in a custard. And why someone would be excited about potato tartare, like, there is nothing good about uncooked potato. Like, for as much as I love potatoes, uncooked potatoes are not cool. Welcome in, everyone. Cheers. It's amazing the pressure differential. I'm looking at my hummingbird feeder just outside the window right now. When the sun is directly on it early in the morning, it forces all of the liquid. There's about inch and a half, maybe 2 inches of liquid there above the bottom part of it. If anyone is generally a bottom part that you can't see into of a hummingbird feeder. And this morning when I looked at it, there was no liquid, the sun pressure being directly on the glass of that, and this is a glass one. It forced everything down into the bottom, I guess. Alright, where do we start with things tonight? I guess we gotta check out what we got for veggies first. That is parsley. There's asparagus. Let's see, is this working now? Yeah, cool. So we're gonna go through this bag and clean up what's in here. I've had this a minute or two, and these bags are not generally long lasting. And just cut new stems on all of these because I don't know what they do with the knives they cut these things with. They're half the time the bottoms of these things look disgusting. I have a feeling that the knives they use to cut these things also go into pockets and things like that. Hey, head of broccoli. So most of tonight's dinner is going to be planning when things go in the oven. Nice head of broccoli. That's sort of what this broccoli plan here is. This stuff is not going to make it a ton longer. That one's okay, these are all okay. Ah. Started brushing it off the edge before I wanted to. So we'll do soy, Liam Perkins, why not? I knew this wouldn't last outside of the fridge for long. Salt. Garlic. Ginger. Olive oil. Alright, so we'll let them hang out like that. And take the asparagus. And we're going to use more of that balsamic up tonight. Because that was not the best looking balsamic the other night. It tasted alright. But again, cut off the ends of them. Mostly get some of those woody ends off. Makes them fit pans a bit better too. Would that help prevent smoking? I doubt it. Smoking means something smoking, which means it's hot enough to smoke. So you might use, like if you're using a low temp oil, you could use a higher temp oil perhaps. Things like olive oil and that are more like a 350-ish smoke point, where the sunflower that I have is more like 500. Spetzel. Garlic. White pepper. Soy. That was a little loud. Sorry about that. The sausage is going to have a higher fat content, and pork sausage is, I think it has lower than beef. Either case, it's going to... What else was I going to throw in here? We're going to leave this as this. Oh. More lemon. Got it. Gonna use it. Even with the balsamic. So we'll let them hang out for a while, along with our broccoli. Actually, got to move both of these because we got to get into salmon next. I'm going to start preheating the oven now, which is going to make things warm. Yeah. It was also hot when I got here and got home, and so window was opened and yeah. It's sort of frustrating how this house retains heat enough that in the evening it has a problem overheating. Like, these things have to peel off, don't they? Salmon diaper. So there's going to be some excess here. Ooh, this one's been stripped too. But we're doing Minecraft dinner tonight. So we need to make squares. Oh, come on, skin. Now I'm stuck wondering if I want to do the tail as one piece. I was thinking I was going to get 3 squares out of this nicely, and that's starting to taper quite a bit. I know they're not all the same size, but in the oven it matters a little less. It's more the thickness. Yeah, maybe we'll go for 3 anyways. And, anyone aside would be interested in well-insulated kitchen ovens? You're sort of losing me there, Penta. Not sure what you're asking. Well, you don't want it, and I would think I think that's more of a, do you want to pay extra for that? Sort of a thing. Because at the same time, people will, I don't recommend you do this, chat. This is unsafe. This causes fires. It is not a good plan. But people sometimes use their ovens to heat their homes. Now, especially in cases where they have, like, electric or steam heating and, you know, versus gas oven, and there's a price difference. Because the reality is any heat escaping from an oven is not, you want to redirect and maintain as much as that heat to cook as best you can. It's just, there's limits and price points. So we're going to make a spice mix for our salmon tonight. I'm not going to keep this just plain old salmon tonight. So we got a decent amount of paprika there. Garlic. Onion. Mustard. Cayenne. Salt. MSG. Pepper. Baking everything at 400 tonight. Trying to decide if I want to throw anything else in there. What do I got for the... I think I'm going to leave it with that. Good with that, good with that, good with those. We're rocking tonight, chat. We're not just the music either. Do I really go square on these, chat? Like, this is often considered the best. Like, it's going to get the most heat because it's the thinnest. But this is the towards the belly of the fish. And just like every other animal, it seems like the belly is the fattiest and flavor-filled area. You know, whether it's bacon or fish, the fatty stomach area is quite often the most prized part of the fish. But it sort of depends on who you're talking about too. Like, some people love the tail because there's less risk of any bones or anything in it. Peanut sauce. I mean, it's an allergen thing these days, but peanut sauce is a people pleaser. And if you don't call it duck sauce might be a good one too. But that's basically sugar, so... Preheating the oven to 400 for all of this. Yeah, orange chicken sauce is another one. Ponzu. But you said soy sauce is a negative, so maybe not ponzu, but... There's not much there to hate other than the soy. I mean, it's stock, lemon juice, and... We're gonna save these two little bits for likely lunch at some time, or I didn't even really look at the skin on the back of this. It's sort of almost perfect for Minecraft. Nice gradient. The Minecraft typically shows salmon spawning, whether they're in the ocean or not. This has to be like baked potato, and specifically baked potato, because it's even worse than potato in the graphics department of Minecraft. I think baked potato has to be the least square thing in Minecraft. The baked potato that they have in Minecraft, it looks a little like it's exploding. I did mushroom stew on Monday. It turned out great. but it's really just going to be these 3 days. So Monday we had baguette. It wasn't a true baguette. With the mushroom stew. Tonight we're doing cooked salmon with baked potato and dried kelp, but I'm considering nori kelp tonight. And then Sunday I'm doing the golden carrot, but it's going to be more the golden merit. If anyone's an Arby's fan from back in the day. And so that's going to be an interesting little project. No enchanted apple. No enchanted golden apple. I think my plans for carrot are but it does leave us room to return at some point in the future. Not that I have any clue what I would do for turning golden apple into dinner. But I don't know, maybe we could do cooked cod. I guess they have pork chops and lamb and beef too. And roast chicken. I don't think they have anything. In the game, at least, like, there's all sorts of room for them to expand in that department, though. And I actually would not be too shocked if they start moving in that department a little bit, because right now they've been throwing a whole bunch of updates into about the animals. Like, there's all sorts of changes with where things spawn and what types of things spawn and what colors spawn where and... We can do chicken, but chicken in the game is just a whole roast chicken. That's all it is. Like, that's sort of, you know, like, they have some more complex recipes in the game, but it seems like, to me, almost like half done or half baked. You can use, I don't know if you can use turtle eggs the same as chicken eggs, but you can, I think there's cookies and there's pie, I think? There's some other things. I've never made any of them because there's no real need to. Alright, oven to 400. That means taters going in the oven. We're going to pork. Yes, we're going to pork this. We're going to poke this with a fork all over so it doesn't explode in my oven. It looked like the Minecraft one if we did, though. Okay, so now the oven's set. Those in the oven, that's going to be in there for 30 minutes. I am tempted to throw this back into the fridge. Hey, Marauder. Just giving my broccoli a toss in the marinade. Keep it well coated. Do the same thing with our asparagus here. Give it 180 flip. I'm a sucker for a good beef stew, but that takes a minute. So I'm going to go taco soup, because it's not going to take all day. And those that are long time in chat know my feelings on vichyssoise. I didn't even have a Vitamix XL for the vichyssoise. I had to do it in the half-gallon one. I'm gonna break down all these nuggets of spice here. Because I'm going to try and put this through the strainer. I don't know if this... Well, I don't think the salt's going to go through the strainer. That's a bummer. The strainer's too fine for the kosher salt. Makes it nice for evenly coating things with powder, though. I was using a strainer. We already had the potato soup, which means that sounds like it's the oldest to me, which that immediately put that higher up on my list now. In one of my jobs at one point, I got stuck hand blending a 40-50 gallon batch of vichyssoise, hand blending and then hand straining, because the boat motors weren't working that night. With steak, I don't want any of them. I want to taste my steak. Boat motors would be stick blenders, but the ones I'm referring to are like commercial ones designed for a 40 or 50 gallon steam kettle. And so they look almost like a boat motor. They're you know, real motors on them. And so you can, you know, like the resort I was working at that point had 4 steam kettles along a back wall with the floor all done up nice and everything for all of it to nicely spill and all that. And so you know, they would routinely make a soup of the day for all the different restaurants and, you know, room service and all that all together as one. Well, that was the easy part, because the saucier didn't bother with stuff like that. And that's not what I wanted. Now I'm playing the game where I use the symbol to get you to follow me, and the other one unfollows me. But saucier in that kitchen basically didn't do a whole lot of prep. You know, Garmager, regular banquets crew did all of the knife work and stuff like that. Majority of it. Small stuff, you know, individual small projects and stuff like that he would do. But he was just sort of sitting there in the back, and it was sort of like his own little world of the kitchen where, you know, I just sit here and make sauces. I just sit here and make demi all day, because it's all we serve with our banquet meals. At least that was the joke at the time. I don't 100% know the whole deal, because I was not in charge there. I was commandeered. I was the FNG at that point. And so I got stuck, you know, dealing with his issue. So I don't really know, I didn't deal with them at that point. It's not like they're overly complicated, but I don't know. We can do these while we're waiting, I guess. I was thinking I was going to do this when everything was in the oven, but... Not quite square. Not quite square. Oh, I've got those too. These are just little snack packs, which I will eat. They're not my favorite. They're low on my craveability score list. I don't like that one. Oh, that's also what I was going to do tonight. I forgot about that. Maybe we'll skip it. It's already a little late to throw those in. I was going to try and use up those. I've got a whole bunch of baby potatoes. But I'm going to have more than enough food here as it is, so it's not the end of the world. Let's see if I can cut a bunch of these at once. If they cooperate for that. No, I'm not a giant fan of nori. In fact, I don't like, it's the number one reason I don't like most sushi is I don't like the texture of sushi wrap nori. These are much better because these are like crispy sea flavor. They do fine to me, so yeah. Chopped up, I think they would do great in a lot of soups. But that, like... yeah, that just... flexible, soft... sort of almost chewy texture to... most nori wrap, no thank you. It doesn't add anything to it to me. It doesn't improve the dish, it doesn't make things better. It makes things more portable, but that's not an improvement in my mind. Most of that stuff, I like the was it nigiri? Nigiri? Don't even know how to pronounce this stuff. I'm not Japanese, I'm sorry. But the like triangle of rice, sometimes with the stuffing of something else that's then wrapped in seaweed. No thank you. I like rice. I like sticky rice. I like sushi rice. I like rice flavored with things. I don't need it wrapped in nori. Actually, I prefer burritos to nori because, like, they're better. And they actually have some flavor to them. I don't know if the guy who was working the station was really all there or not. I didn't get to know him all that well. I worked with him for like a couple of days before I moved on. Not in my job, but like they moved me around in that place quite a bit, actually. It was my externship at school, and so they were putting me in all of the kitchens and wanted to give me all the experiences. Some of them much better than others. The fine dining restaurant, because they knew I was an intern, because they knew I was temporary, they treated me like junk. And did so purposely while I sat there and watched the kid from the local community college come onto the line for the first time and be put in a place of command on the line compared to, oh, you little peon intern. There was definitely some politics there that I absolutely had no clue what was going on and stuff like that. And that one restaurant, like, the crew that was in that restaurant did that restaurant. Like it was like a lot of the other people in the place ran all over the place, wore many hats. It wasn't a union shop where they were forced into, this is what I do all day. But do I regret school choice? No. Nope. I don't know if the bachelor's program, well, I greatly enjoyed and appreciated the bachelor's program. And as I look back on it, it was a good experience. Was it worth it? Did I get out of it? But if you're going to go to college for culinary, you should go full bore with it. Unless you're not serious about it. I did get bummed out last night. I was listening. Ooh. Thank you, Kip. Appreciate the raid. Welcome, Raiders. I was a little depressed or put down by watching a podcast last night with a chef to a very nice, very high-end restaurant, like top high-end restaurant that I basically staged at, but had a chance to stay there and was like, this is not the place for me. And listening to that guy on the podcast, it sounds like he completely changed what that place was like, and I would have loved. So that's a bummer. I'm doing great, Kip. We're having some fun doing Minecraft dinners tonight. Dinner food. We've got baked potatoes started in the oven. Gonna be doing salmon. We've got nori here that I'm cutting into squares to represent the kelp in Minecraft. I got some other veggies that I'm doing along with that. These are snacking nori. They get a little like crispy seawater. What are we playing tonight, Kip? You seem to change up what you play pretty regularly. First job was a busboy at a 12-table restaurant. Fired me, they used cuckoo. Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten that call back too. You know, like, I don't want anything to do with this place anymore. And a few months later, hey, you free? You want to make some money? Go away. Throw pans at someone else. Got another 7 minutes in here until we're going to start in on our next part to this, which is throwing the veggies in there. The salmon's only going to be in there for the last little bit of this, so... No, in my case, I would be most upset about screwing up chances that I did have. Because I had a couple of... Like, that restaurant is one of them, especially now thinking about it and listening to that podcast and how it's changed, is one of them. But one of the private cooking gigs... Yeah, I was so green at that point. I didn't deserve that job, but at the same time, the chance... I would have been, like, private chef to one of the, like, Housewives of Beverly Hills type thing. So on one hand, I understand why it didn't happen. And there's a couple of different reasons in that night. I can see why it didn't happen. But... So how's everyone else's week been? We all chilling? We all enjoying our Friday evening? Get the warehouse-sized bottle of this, and it's just hard to hold. It's not even easy to... It's a pain to pour. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy beginning to the weekend for you. Cheers. Is this just getting old? Yes. Hi, Alex. Oh, hey, Miss Sepsi. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm okay with people buying bottles. I've touched on this before, but I don't get people that buy and then open bottles and keep open bottles around. Like, I understand you open a bottle and it lasts you a little while. But, like the whiskey library and things like that, where we're going to have a room of open bourbons. And they're not going to degrade at all because they don't happen. That doesn't happen. As soon as you open the air to it, they start degrading. And the more you open them, the worse they get. The corks are not perfect, especially on the cheaper, more mass-produced stuff. And so, open a bottle, drink it. Don't open like 50 bottles thinking you're going to be Mr. Compare them all and know them all. That also doesn't mean, like, I'm thinking you open a bottle, you drink a bottle. There's things to be said for buying bottles to keep them. There's certainly an investment for some people. That's different from what I'm saying. Don't just sit there and open 50 bottles and think they're going to all keep the same flavor. Live stream of the, I'm guessing USS United States towed out of Philadelphia will be sunk as an artificial reef. The bigger bummer is we're not replacing them fast enough. Nice head of broccoli. I haven't been doing a whole lot of wine lately. I normally drink more wine than I have the last, say, year and a half or so. But, and I've been doing a lot more bourbon the last, 4 or 5 years. Never been... I'm okay with some beers. Most of the beers out here out west I'm not a huge fan of. Anchor Steam's okay, but I don't love drinking it all the time. It's not a one I want to go through a 12-pack of or something like that. 6-rack. Whatever. That honor would go to Yingling, which I can't buy out here on the West Coast. That's a East Coast U.S. beer. It's the oldest beer produced, I think, in the U.S. Pretty sure Molson's older. Alex. I have not. Sounds like one of those cheaper buy it in a big can ones. Going to college in New York, all the bars had Yingling. And so... Alright, so Potato has gotten 30 minutes to cook at this point. So we're going to start another tray here with our veggies going in there. Oh, that's what I was going to put in there. That's what we can throw in there as well. That'll help that out too. Going to do some sugar in this too. With our salmon topping. My hand's gonna smell like balsamic now. Got my hand coated in balsamic. What's the bowl seasoning? That's gonna be my dry seasoning for on the salmon. Lots of paprika, quite a bit of cayenne, but garlic, onion, pepper, salt, MSG, mustard. But we're going to add some sugar in there too. Let's just do regular sugar. Still got these like little bits of, I don't know if they're white pepper or mustard or what, that's just not breaking down nicely. The salt is still in there, kosher salt is still in there and chunky, but okay, we're going to go ahead and throw this loveliness into the oven. And down on the bottom. This is almost a blackening seasoning here, even though we're not going to blacken it. It's very similar to sugar, salt, spice. Sugar helps it blacken easier. Nope. Well, I don't, like, I cook at home 4 nights a week. I go out, like, a handful of times a year these days. I honestly don't even know the current restaurant scene here beyond, you know, the Michelin star places and, like, Healdsburg and stuff like that. We're going to individually take these and put them onto the pan back here onto the stove. I promise you the rack is clean. Olive oil. From a distance so that it maximum spreadage. And clean off our cutting board here. Oh, good old Sam. Yeah, I watch YouTube. I don't watch his stuff regularly, but every once in a while, if there's something going on in that world, I'll click on what he's saying. I actually watch Sutton much more. He just mentioned Sutton in his last video, I think, or the one before that. Even though it seems like Sutton has no idea what he's doing when it comes to YouTube. But YouTube is pretty much what I watch, chat. Like, I watch Twitch, don't get me wrong. Watch Twitch, but YouTube is pretty much what I watch. Like, I'll generally look for people that I'm interested in watching on Twitch, which, to be honest, a lot of the daytime stuff doesn't hugely appeal to me. Some of it does, but... And also, a lot of the time during the day, I'm not looking for engagement material. Like, I put stuff up, like music and what else, so that I can get stuff done around the house. Woodford Reserve. Just their normal. Run-of-the-mill. Not the double oak. Not the, other one. I sort of bounce between 2 or 3 of the cheap main labels. I like Buffalo Trace. The base Buffalo Trace has been tasting a bit too harsh to me lately, so I haven't been doing that so much. But I've been doing Makers, I've been doing Woodford. I thought Woodford was a really interesting tour, but more for people that actually understand what they're saying, sort of a thing. They have a whole bunch of, like, proprietary things that they try and make it sound like, but at the same time they explain to you what they're doing, basically. The classic for barrels is that you flame them, you roast them, and so you char the inside of them, and you have different toasts for barrels, and all of this fancy stuff when it comes to that. What I think, and from their explanation from their tour, is they were using infrared technology. In my mind, they're baking them. They're cooking them to a specific temperature, so the wood as a whole gets to a specific temperature, rather than just the charred part of it. Which may be what all of them do these days. I mean, it makes more sense economically to run an oven than to actually char them to proper temp. I mean, sure, you want to char them, but as far as proper drying out, humidity, there's a bunch of factors there that I'm sure they care about that we don't even think about. Smelling the balsamic. What I keep saying I want to do, and what I actually want to do as far as drinking, is I want to get more into some of the more fancier scotches and Japanese whiskeys. Not so much the idea of loving smoke and peat, but I do love things like Glenmorangie, who use all sorts of fancy woods, and the different flavors you can get from the different woods, and the woods of the Japanese ones. I haven't tried any of the Suntory stuff, really. Yeah, and I don't drink every night, but yeah, I'm not trying to make it a regular thing either. And all the science is pointing towards it's horrible for us, even though at one point it was healthier to drink alcohol than water because the water was all filthy. But these days, different world. Now we have to more worry about what we have poisoned it with versus just not having cleaned it to begin with. APA? AP? APA? Something else pale ale? American pale ale? Ah. Lead? Anyone? There it is. According to lead map, there's a map of a likelihood that lead has been in your water. I'm likely contaminated with lead. Actually, it's very likely that I've been contaminated with lead in my life. Why is that not a square either? That's sort of square. Is that square, chat? I also grew up, like, a stone's throw from a toxic landfill. So, I mean... Oh, nope, we're just gonna have to bag these. Hi, chat. I didn't shave today. And so, according to maps, here in California, I have a much lower chance of having lead in my water here. However, it's probably a pretty good chance due to the amount of apples grown in Sonoma County and other agriculture. There's probably a little DDT around here. Maybe just a little bit. Snappers. I feel that's the appropriate term to use tonight. I don't have anything square to serve it with. That's a bummer. Are you going to fit into this dusty thing? No, not very easily, no. Though I could maybe stack them. No. We're gonna leave this dusty. Alright, salmon going in. And veggies are looking like we might be able to pull those out a little bit early. There has been cases of farmers using outlawed, I forget what the chemical is, because it works in tandem with the more recent genetic varieties. There's been people illegally spraying a different pesticide that is affecting all sorts of other stuff. And without question, Pento, they're... Like, you look at other countries, like, you look at the, we were talking about chips. You look at the industry for breaking down and demolishing old ships where they basically ground them in places of the world where they don't care about the environmental impact, and basically have slave labor pull them apart, break them down into steel sheets so that the country has steel. Yeah, I might have overdid the veggies, chat. Oopsies. I'm unsure that this government's going to help anyone right now. We'll see. They have great aspirations, but I don't have much promise for them. I do have a newfound appreciation for Maine's governor today. And there's a whole industry behind it. I mean, the people that are actually breaking those ships down are buying them. Like, you have people that are, controlling the labor and spending millions of dollars to buy these boats to break them down into steel. Like, there's people, like, there's ship captains that are, like, experts in beaching these boats for these people. Said I'll see you in court. Very, like, yeah, take a hike response without getting into it with him. He gave it to her all, like, without even deserving it to begin with. Called your state liberal. Well, I don't know if it's your state, but... That's because you have buddy-buddy deals between the government and like, the nuclear stuff is not getting beached on those beaches. That's like some buddy-buddy deal between them and one of the, like, major shipbuilders to break down them for scrap. It's not just security clearances. It's nuclear. It's just unsafe. Like, you can't just hand that off to anyone. It's not like Russia. We're just gonna sink everything. I don't think it's the actual names. Like, I think it's some other company that does it. Like, at the very least, like, Newport is not going to do it under their own name. They're going to have, like, some third-party name or some company that isn't going to have a problem taking the hit with some problem with the destruction of this thing. But yeah, it's something along that line. Just legally safe. One of our aircraft carriers just got in an accident. Going back to what's going on with shipping. I didn't watch his most recent one with that, but one of our aircraft carriers just got into a crash with one of the... Like, it was sitting in a major traffic area and ran into something else. They keep talking about modular nuclear reactors, and I keep wondering when they're actually going to send one out to McMurdo. McMurdo used to have a nuclear station back in the day. For those that don't know McMurdo, that's our Antarctica station. Science station. And it got to end of life and they got rid of it or decided they didn't want to pay to maintain it, or I don't know what it was, but I would think that would be like among the top choices for a nuclear installation, is putting it back into McMurdo. I did read recently that they're talking about the first commercial cargo carrying ship being nuclear. Which makes sense with, like, they've been toying with all sorts of things with that to reduce, like, there's some of them that are now using giant sails, which is sort of amazing. Take a look at our salmon. Yep, it's still salmon. I have no clue, Penta. Could be. That's the sort of detail that my brain would not keep. That's perfect. It sort of breaks the circle, too. Points out that it's a square even more. Really wish I had something square to serve those square pieces of seaweed in. Round 2. Would not be surprised, Penta. It sort of fits in line with everything I hear about the shipping industry. You know, like the idea that a ship registry has, you know, how many different countries and stuff on it. You know, it's owned by this country, it's maintained by this country, it's staffed by this country, and it's insured by this country. There's all the talk recently about the prices to go through the Suez. I think that's... I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure if this is partly a play to get under Mexico's skin, because Mexico's really trying to push a train path in their south between two ports as an alternative. Diener. There's our salmon chop, fresh out of the oven. And our baked potato. Well, the traffic that would be going through the Suez that is being blocked has already been blocked. It's sort of like a stock market thing. Like, the negative impact has already happened, so we care about it less. This has got to be cooked through by now. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was off camera. Hey, Saucy. I was late, too. I didn't get started until late tonight. Now we've taken our photos for the Minecraft part of this, and we're just making this into proper dinner at this point. But there we have it, folks. My salmon dinner for this lovely Friday evening. Appreciate you joining me for tonight. Let's take a photo of this, too. Why not? As always, photos of tonight's dinner will be up in the Discord. I'm gonna go and enjoy all this. Appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Sunday's dinner is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna throw a couple twists and turns into Sunday's dinner. So I hope you come to join me for that. I really actually do. Like, I'm somewhat excited about Sunday's recipe just as something to try and accomplish. Recipes in Discord for Monday night. Gonna be doing tortilla soup. And I think it's for... At least I think that's what the plans are. Off the top of my head. And then we got more great fun coming next week with Ingredient Challenge for next Wednesday. I hope you come back to join me for all of it. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Thank you. Good night.